Welcome back to my Principles of Management class. In the previous class, we discussed about the levels of managers and skills manager required, and then the nature and scope of management. So these are the topics we discussed. In today's class, we will see the functional areas of management, one topic, and another one is the evolution of management. In other words, who are all the management gurus who contributed to the management which we are having today. Okay, first we look at this functionals area of management. So, what are the functional areas? In order to achieve its objectives, a business unit performs several activities which may be grouped under important functional departments such as production, finance, marketing, personal, legal, and public relations. So these are some of the functional departments. Such functions differ from one organization to another organization. But managerial functions, which includes planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling, are common to all the organizations. Uh, the functions of a business, such as production, finance, marketing, etc., also known as operative functions, because these functions are used in the day-to-day operations. The various functional departments of business are interdependent and interrelated, in sense that these departments cannot, function alone. Okay, they function in relation with others, so it is like interdependent, so one depend upon another. Say instance, finance department needs the help of marketing and coordination of marketing. Of course, marketing needs the coordination of finance for budget allocation, things like that. So it is interdependent, that one depend upon another, the other depend upon this one. So they continuously interact with each other to achieve their objectives. So the coordination and communication between these departments are, compulsory, are very important, vital. Okay, in order to achieve the objectives of the organizations. Example: purchase department receives material requisition from production department and get financial approvals for the purchase of materials from the finance department. There must be a proper integration of various functional areas of business to achieve its objectives. This can be achieved by top management of the enterprises by effective planning, organization, direction, and control of operations of functional managers. So, as we discussed, there should be good coordination and cooperation and communication, okay, between these departments, so that what happens, the day-to-day operation of the departments is goes on smoothly. This is just an picture which gives a clear idea of basic activities performed by this department. We start with human resources like the compensation, vacation, skills, and trainings. Also, like recruiting and all those things, recruiting, training, disciplining, all those things. Some of the functions of the HR department. Accounting, that accounts receivable is AR, accounts payable, payroll, that's a staff salary and all this. In general ledger, where they maintain uh, profit and loss, balance sheet, these kind of things. Finance, cash management, asset management, budgeting, and all those things. Marketing, it's all like they plan the, what do you say, marketing mix, like pricing, promotions, how they do the sales and management, customer loyalty, that is a CRM which we are discussing, and then interactive marketing, all those kind of things, and sales, order taking, again customer relationship marketing, then services, all those things. Operation department is also known as production department, including the transport and logistic things like that. Then receiving the raw materials and fulfillment and process control, that's looking into the production, that input and output, and the purchasing from the suppliers, all those things. Okay, so all this, some of the functions of the functional departments. Hope you have got some clear cut idea about the various functions of the functional departments. Then we move on to the topic evolution of management thought. Here, the evolution of management thought main contributions are from Taylor, Henry Fayol, Elton Mayo, Peter F. Drucker. There are several people's management gurus who contributed. Among them, these four people contribution was like very important and immense to the management of what we are having today. So we will see one by one. First, we start with the Frederick Taylor, The Theory of Scientific Management. In 1909, Taylor published the Principles of Scientific Management. In this, he proposed that by optimizing and simplifying jobs, productivity would increase. Okay, that's a make the job, I mean, simple and try to increase the productivity. So what happens? This is a procedure. Okay, so I mean, make it simple. Find out the ways to make it simple and increase the productivity. Scientific management may be defined as the art of what is to be done and the best way of doing it. So, give priority for what is comes first and what is to be done, and the best way to do it. Find the easy way and better way so that with a minimum strain. It is applying scientific knowledge and scientific methods to various aspects of management, and problems arise from them. So, in day-to-day operation, okay, whatever the procedure or process the staff members or workers are doing, try to look at from the scientific perspective, and solve the problems arising of day-to-day operation from a scientific aspect. So this way it will be more like productive with less strain. So first he comes with the division of labor, very important. Dividing a job into many specialized part with a single worker or a few worker, assigning to each part. Division of labor is important to mass production. So workers who focus on the same task can learn the task intimately and develop new ways to do it faster, more easily, or better. Actually, division of labor is something very big contribution to this one, which you are still following even now. What happens, say for instance, especially in mass production and all, okay, those days people do one product from A to Z, it is done by one person. Okay, here, I mean, this job is divided into subunits and carried out by several person. Say for instance, a carpenter is making a table. So what he will do is he will buy the raw materials of the wood and bring it, and then he cuts the wood, measure it, and he cuts the wood. Then he screw the wood and make the table. After making the table, then he will paint it, varnish it, and then he paint it. Then he sells. So this is an one job. Okay, so this one job, okay, when we want to do this on mass production means like producing like 100 table, 500 table, that's called mass production. So when people start doing like this in a factories, manufacturing units, so instead of one person doing like from procuring the raw material, there is a wood, and then measuring it, then cutting it, then assembling it, and then painting and all those things. Instead of one person doing all this task are divided into different people. In different people means one set of people will do the procuring of the, I mean, selecting the kind of wood quality and selecting the wood, and then other people will measure and cut it. Okay, third set of people will do assembling it, sawing it and then screwing it and all those things. Other bit set of people will do the task of finishing, varnishing and painting. So if one job is divided into different tasks and different task is performed by different people, what will happen? The person who is doing this will pick up the speed because he is doing the same task again and again. So in this way he will become expert, and this way the production will increase. Instead of one person doing all the task in a one job, okay, this job is divided into different tasks and different tasks are performed by different people. So that is called division of labor. So this way the person efficiency, that's a speed, will increase, and because of this the what do you say, the productivity will go up. Okay, so that is the actual meaning of division of labor. Standardization of methods, procedures, tools and equipments. Standardization helps in reducing time, labor and cost of production. The success of scientific management largely depends upon standardization of system, tools, equipments, and techniques of production. So, what happens? What is the meaning of standardization? Standardization means you are applying the standard procedure for making. Standard procedure means there is a consistency in producing anything, in processing anything. So that is called standardization. Say even a cooking. If you say a menu is standardized in say in making a particular item, so what happens, it includes how much is the quantity. Like 100 grams of rice means it's always 100 gram of rice. 10 ml of oil means it's 10 ml of oil. So in menu the ingredients are standardized. They use the same ingredients in the same amount and in the same SOP, standard operating procedure. It's the same manner. Okay, and then even cooking time, include cooking time, boil the rice for 10 minutes means 10 minutes. Okay, then after that fry the chili in the 10 ml of oil for 2 minutes means in 2 minutes. So this is called standardization. Standardization means they using the same method, same ingredient, same quality, and the same procedure. So this way if we do like that, the output also will be consistent. So the success of scientific management largely depends upon the standardization of systems, tools, equipments, and techniques of production. So whether a particular thing is done by person A, B, or C, once it's standardized, the outcome will be same. So, use of time and motion study. Motion study is a technique of analyzing the body motions employed in doing a task in order to eliminate or reduce ineffective movements and facilitates effective movements. So, use of time and motion study means again, this is a scientific method where the supervisor or manager can look at the time, how much time they are taking to produce a product. So, find out which is the optimum time a job can be, a task can be achieved. So fix that time. And then body motion means what are the body posture is required to do a particular things, and which posture you can do that particular task in a effective manner. So in this way if you identify, then you can avoid unnecessary body posture. So this way this is a we have if you follow this standardize the time and the right posture for doing task. So what happens? Employees can avoid unnecessary portions. Postures. So this way they can reduce the body strain and time. So task can be completed in a proper manner in a right time. So that's a use of time and motion study. Next, we move on to Henry Fayol, the administrative management theory. Henry Fayol is called as father of modern management. He established a pattern of management and the pyramidal form of work. Pyramidal form of work is like an organizational structure where the communication and authority flows from top management to bottom management. He pointed out that the technical ability is more on the lower level of management and managerial ability is more important to the higher level of management. In other words, he emphasized that for the managerial skills at the lower level, they should be more proficient in technical aspect. Technical aspect means carrying out to the different task. So that is the technical aspect, and the manager level at the top management, there should be more at the managing things. So five also 14 principles of management. So for division of work, when employees are specialized, output can increase because they become increasingly skilled and efficient. So this is almost same like the previous one we discussed. Division of labor is instead of one person doing everything. I mean, each and every task is I mean, a particular job is divided into different tasks, and this task is I mean, divided among few technical persons. So what happens? This way, they become very efficient and they become very skilled in a particular task. So it also increases the productivity. Then authority. Managers must have the authority to give orders, but they must also keep in mind with the authority comes responsibility. So I mean, depending upon the position they are holding, the management, the top management give them the the right amount of authority so that they have the power to carry on the work. That's one thing. And along with the authority, they should also will have the responsibility. Disciplining must be upheld in organization, but methods for doing so can vary. So a manager or people in the management should maintain proper discipline, but the way of discipline can vary. But they have to instill discipline among the staff members in an organization. Then unity of command. Employee should have only one direct supervisor. That's very important. In other words, a staff member should not have two bosses, only one bosses, whom give them instructions. I mean, who gives them orders and all those things. If a person has got the two bosses or more than one boss, like three, four bosses, then what happens? The person will have confusion to who to follow, because one boss or one manager will ask him to do, the other manager will ask him to another task. So the person will have a confusion who to follow. So in other words, the employee should have only one person should be reporting to. That's called unity of command and unity of direction. Teams with the same objective should be working under the direction of one manager using one plan. This will ensure that the action is properly coordinated. Again, this is like a structure. So if a person, one person should have only one boss to report, so that what happens, whatever the job or task or direction that particular person is given, so easy for the subordinate to, I mean, follow and coordinate. Subordination of individual interest to general interest. The interest of one employee should not be allowed to become more important than those of the group. This includes the managers. As we know that in organizations, several times the job need to be done in a group of people. So when we are working together as a group, the manager should not just emphasize the interest of one person. They should look at the interest of the group as a whole, instead of giving importance to a individual person interest. This way the group will be more cohesive. Cohesive in sense will be more, I mean, like working together. I mean, will be more coordinating those kind of things. Then remunerations, that's remuneration, all the benefits the employee will be reaping. Employee satisfaction depends upon fair remuneration for everyone. This includes financial and non-financial compensation. So, I mean, this is the, like, in terms of financial payment and non-financial payment for the way employees' contribution to the organization, which includes salary, like provident fund, dental, health insurance. So all these things, leave, all those things includes financial and non-financial compensations. So this one has to be given on the fair basis as per the contribution of the employees and as per the market what do you say, market range and all those things. Then centralization. This principle refers to how close employees are to the decision making process. It is important to aim for an appropriate balance. Centralization means the authority moving on to the top. So what happens? Again, the employee should be given empowerment. They should be involved. I mean, they should be involved in the decision making process. This way, I mean, their contribution will be more, and they will own whatever the task they are given. Okay, if more, I mean, power is given for them to take decision, then they own that particular thing, and they ensure that the particular task or job is done in accordance with the expectation of the management. Scale or chain. Employees should be aware of where they stand in the organization hierarchy or chain of command. So what happens when employees are even at the time of their recruitment? What happens? They should be given. The particular designation, and this designation should be clear where they stay, whether they are a supervisor or they are the worker or they are the middle manager and all those things, so that they know what is their designation, what is their authority and power given to them, and that power, what are the responsibilities they need to carry and all those things. So this way they are not, like manipulated by their seniors, and also they are not misusing the subordinates. They know what is their power and responsibility, what is that expected work they have to do. So that's very important to ensure for the HR that what is the, the correct position, and what they need to perform in that particular position. Next is the order. The workplace facilities must be clean, tidy, and safe for employees. Everything should have its place. So this is the environment in which the employees are working in an organization. So it should be cleanliness, proper cleanliness and maintenance, and it should be tidy, and they should feel, employees should feel that they are safe in the environment. So everything should be in place, so that they are working atmosphere where is conducive for them to work. And then equity manager should be fair to staff all at all times, both maintaining discipline as well as necessary, and acting with kindness with appropriate. So that what happens, it is a responsibility for the managers to be fair to all the staffs. Fair to all the staff means they treat all the staff, and then there is no biasness in treating the staff. There is no partiality, so treat them all equally, and maintain a discipline wherever necessary. That's a equity. And then stability of tenure of personnel. Managers should strive to minimize employer turnover. Personal planning should be a priority. So what happens? Staff leaving an organization is unavoidable. That's natural. But what happens? A percentage of staff turnover is very, very important. So a person at a manager level should do whatever he or she can do in order to reduce the higher employee turnover, and really should help the employees in an organization to plan their future course in the organization, so that what happens, this help them to become more loyal to the organization, and thereby they feel that the organization will have some growth aspect for them. This way their satisfaction will increase, and then the employee turnover rate will be decreased or maintained as a stable one. Initiative. Employees should be given the necessary level of freedom to create and carry out plans. So when employees are empowered to take some action, carry out some plans, what happens this way, they will take more initiative to achieve the objectives or goal given to them. Okay, so in order to them to take initiative to complete the task successful, they should be given enough freedom, required freedom and empowerment. A spirit corps organization should strive to promote team spirit and unity. That's very important. Many times, teamwork is required. So what happens, they should be the employee should be given like a training and counseling sort of things if necessary, to understand under the importance of team, so that they work together as a team with a high spirit and and unity. So these are the 14 most important principles contributed by Henry Fayol to the management. Then we look at the Elton Mayo behavioral theory of management, Hartrow effects. Professor George Elton Mayo, in 1880 to 1949, is recognized as the father of human relations approach. The behavioral management theory is often called the human relations movement because it addresses the human dimensions of work. Behavioral theorists believe that a better understanding of human behavior at work, such as motivation, conflicts, expectations, and group dynamics, improved productivity. So Mayo and his team conducted an experiment that have a massive impact on management, which paved the way for the modern system of management that many organizations are enjoying today. This experiment is on psychological reactions of workers to the job situations, like the job redesign, length of workday and work week, length of break times, and incentive plans. So actually, Eldon's Mayo's what do you say contribution in terms of job design, like the work process, and then the length of the workday, like how many hours is very optimum for effective productivity, and how many days and how many hours per day, all this kind of things. And a break also, break means like a tea break, lunch break, and what are the other incentives. So if this was scrutinized and properly planned, this will increase the productivity of the employees and also the satisfaction of them. So Elton Mayer's contribution came as part of the Hawthorne studies, which consisted of two studies conducted at the Hawthorne work of the Western Electrical Company in Chicago from 1924 to 1932. So his most important contribution was, is from the two study he concluded in an Western Electrical Company in Chicago, US, in from 1924 to 32. So what happens in the first study? It was conducted by a group of engineers who are, likely to know the relationship between the lighting levels and then productivity. So lighting level means how much light is optimum to increase the productivity. So in their research study, they found out that the productivity increased as the lighting level decreased, like more bright, you reduce the brightness of the light a little, then they found out that the employees productivity is going up. It will go up till okay, the until the employees were unable to see. When it becomes so dull or little bit dark, when they are unable to see, then what happens, the performance naturally started declining because they cannot see properly, so the productivity goes down. That's a one theory. And in the second theory, Elton Mayo and colleagues, F.J. Roethlisberger, supervised a group of 5 women in a bank wiring room. Okay, that's a bank area. They gave the women special privileges such as the right to leave their workstation without permission, take rest periods, enjoy free lunches, and have variations in pay levels and work days. So here the women are the 5 women who are under the study or observation have been given special privileges, like they can decide when they can go for lunch, how long they can take their break, and have free lunches and all those things. So in this way, this helped them, if like given more freedom, so this way it increases their productivity. So Mayo and Roethlisberger concluded that increase in productivity resulted from supervisory arrangement rather than the changes in the lighting or other associated work benefits. So what they concluded that out of these two experiments, they concluded that it is not that the I mean the effect of the light that is increasing the productivity, but it is the what do you say? It is the privileges of freedom given to the employees, and the arrangement, supervisory arrangement, is the main reason for increasing the increase in the productivity and I mean other aspect of the productivities. Then contribution of Peter F. Drucker. Among the contemporary management thinkers, Peter F. Drucker was a legend in the field of management. He has made uh, many outstanding contributions to the development of management principles. So, I mean, his contribution to the management principle is so many, and all of them are very vital. In 1943, Peter Drucker began his own consulting business, which allowed him to work with companies like IBM and Protector and Gamble. He realized that the two most important things for a business to achieve were innovation and marketing. So, innovation means innovation in product. That's a finding new product, introducing new product, and not only product, the process also, how we do things. That's a process. So, innovation and marketing plays a very important role in achieving a success of the business. Drucker thought that management is liberal art and is about much more than productivity. To be an effective manager, you must understand things like psychology, science, religion, and other things that go into that subject. So you want to anyone want to become like a effective manager is not that they just understand the technical aspect of productivity, but they should also be well versed in the areas of psychology, science, religion, and all those areas. They have to be well versed. Draga observed that often manager would try to take charge of everything. This was actually out of desire for control or belief that they were the only person who could accomplish a task correctly. Because of this, he advocated strongly for the decentralization of management. He thought that managers needed to delegate tasks to empower their employees. What he means actually is that if the manager thinks that only he can accomplish all the tasks, so he takes all the tasks to himself, then what happens? This way, is not the right way, because he should have the what do you say, a tendency to allocate the job to others, and then properly train them to do that job. In other words, try to decentralize, give power for the subordinates to take decision and carry out the task to some extent. So this way, what happens? Delegation is very important. Okay, that's the thing. They should first of all come out of the mind set that only they can accomplish. They are capable of accomplishing their every task. Okay, so that is the wrong, he says. So more centralized organization will be. It will be more productive. Management by objectives. This is one of the very important contribution from Drugger in the discipline of management. He introduced this concept in the year 1954 and regarded to be a remarkable contribution to the management thought. So MBO is nothing but management by objectives. It consists of environmental scanning, identification of key result areas, setting objectives for department as well as the subordinates, motivation and performance appraisal. So in MBO, it's a scanning of the environment, like what are the opportunities and what are the threats. So from this environment, in both internally and externally, and identify where things need to be. Key areas where the employees need to derive the result, and setting objectives means goals. How much, what kind of goal in the departmental they need to achieve, and also individually for the subordinate, what is their individual goal, and it also includes some motivation, what are the ways to motivate different employees, and it also includes a performance appraisal, that's the evaluation of the staff, how they are doing their job, and those kind of things. So MBA consists of things in all these areas. MBO is a process where superiors and subordinates jointly identify a common objectives. set the results that should be achieved by subordinates, and assess the contribution of each individual. Here what happens, a manager and a subordinate, they work together to identify what is a common goal or objective a subordinate should achieve. So it should not be very difficult to achieve, it should not be very easy to achieve. It should be depending upon the individual ability, it should be somewhat difficult. Okay, and then access this contribution of each individual. So they should set individual objectives, a manager and a subordinate, and then should be given to them. Then all these things, management gurus contribution we have discussed. In the next topic we will see what is management is a management art or science. That's the one we will discuss in our next class. For this class, that's all. Thank you.